What up, everybody? InstructaBeats back again here with some knowledge about triangles. So let's get started with our objective. Our objective today we'll be able to explore the circumstances in which you can make a triangle. We will look at using side lengths and angles to make them. So we're going to start off with talking about angles. Okay, so we're going to be trying to make triangles today and figure out some different attributes of triangles. And so when we talk about angles, there's something very particular, and you guys probably know this because we've talked about it in class before, but I want to show you why. We're going to be talking about the sum of the interior angles. So here I have three different triangles, and I have overlapped the angles with a red angle, okay? And so I want to take the angles from this triangle. There you go, and it's not perfect, but you can kind of see when you put the three angles together, they form a straight line. They form a straight angle, okay? Three pieces. And then we know that angles are summative all the way back from 4th grade. So when we add up these total angles right here, we know a straight angle is 180 degrees. And that leads us to the interior angles of a triangle have to equal exactly 180 degrees. And this doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what triangle it is. If it's a triangle and you add up all three angles, they'll equal 180 degrees. So let's do it with this bigger one here. So if I take these three angles, obviously this is a different looking triangle. This is an obtuse triangle. This last one was a right angle. And we take these angles and we put them together. There you go. And again, this isn't going to be perfect because I'm using a computer. It's kind of hard, but you can see that again, it made a straight angle. And it would be the same thing with these three angles. And so if you're going to make a triangle, when you add up the interior angles, meaning the inside angles, it has to equal 180 degrees, right? Because when you put them together, it forms that straight line. So let's take a look at the we do problem. And it says, which of these different angles could make a triangle? So for each one, I gave you three angles, right? And we want to know, can those angles make a triangle? So we know they have to equal exactly 180 degrees. When you add up these angles equal 180 degrees. So yes, 27, 53, and 100 degrees could make a triangle. 65, 90, and 26 equal 181 degrees. So these three angles could not make a triangle. It can't be over 180, it can't be close to 180, and it can't be less than 180. It has to be exactly 180. Right here we have an equilateral triangle, 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180 degrees. By the way, this would be an obtuse triangle because you have an obtuse angle. And then here we have another obtuse triangle, and again, because when you add up the angles, it equals 180 degrees. So you can tell if someone gives you three angles, you will be able to tell whether or not you can put those angles together and make a triangle. It's all about 180 degrees. You can also figure out whether or not you can make a triangle using the sides, right? So we just did angles, now we're going to do sides. And so the Triangle Inequality Theorem tells us that if you add the two short sides together to make a triangle, the sum of those has to be greater than the longest side. And here's why, right? So here my longest side is 5, my two shortest sides are 2. Well, if they're both 2, okay, obviously that would equal 4. 4 is not greater than 5. So they're not long enough to connect. If I take my ruler here, okay, if I take my ruler here and I rotate it, there we go, and I put that right there, and let's say now I take this to be right there, that still doesn't work because if I did, oh, sorry, now I would have to change this. If I make this into a 3, 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 is still not greater than 5. It can't be greater than, it has to be, it can't be equal to, it has to actually be greater. Now if I take this again, at my line, and I get a little bit past 5, right? Now, let's say it was even 5.1, now I can, or sorry, 3.1 here. There we go, okay. Now 5.1 is greater than 5. This can make a triangle. So if the two short sides aren't long enough, then they won't be able to connect, okay, and make that triangle. So Triangle Inequality Theorem, the two short sides, the sum of them have to be greater than the longest side. So you're going to get questions like this. Here I have 4 different measurements. Could these side lengths make a triangle? Okay, so here I have my two short sides are 12 and 14. So is 14 plus 12 greater than the longest side of 53? And obviously the answer for that would be 26. 26 is not greater than 53, so this could not make a triangle. Here my two shortest sides are 34 and 54. When I add those together, I'm going to get 84. 84 is greater than the longest side, 60, so these three lengths could make a triangle. Here we have my two short sides as being 5 and 5, so 5 plus 5. Let's see if that's greater than 10, and obviously 10 is not greater than 10. It would be equal to, and we just showed you with the ruler that they can't be equal to because it still won't connect. Okay, so this one won't make a triangle. But here my two shorter sides are 5 and 6, which makes it 11, and 11 is greater than 10. So out of these four different options, I can make a triangle when I'm given all three sides, called the side, SSS, okay, theorem. And I can add the two shorter sides together, and if it's longer, if those are greater than the longest side, then that can make a triangle. If they aren't, then it doesn't make a triangle. So those are two easy ways to figure out whether or not you can make a triangle.